watching Force 13's live streaming service. watching Force 13's live streaming service. You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. watching Force 13's live streaming service. Hello and welcome to Force 13 Live. My name's Nathan Foy and, well, look at the scene out there. Just getting dark here at Force 13 HQ. 8 PM UTC is the time, and this is Force 13 Live, tracking Cyclone Fantala this evening, which is a borderline Category 5 storm. I'm joined by the Skype team this evening, two of our members actually, John and David in the background, if they're there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was getting concerned there just for a wee moment because you took a little while to respond there, but hey, you are there. Fantastic. We're using new software this evening, so that is why things are a little bit more hectic than one may normally be accustomed to. But yeah, we've made it. Guys, what do you think of Cyclone Fantala this evening?
It definitely has that structure of a pretty strong cyclone.
Yeah. David, watching from Australia over there?
It's turning out to be another system that doesn't want to disappear, and other members of the team, they've been providing all communication over the last 5 days. The TC and the modelling is showing up a very interesting track, so it's still a powerful system.
Yeah, you may see the little graphic that we've got on the bottom right hand side of the screen. That updates every half hour. That's as of 7:30 UTC, so half an hour ago, and it will update at 25 past and 5:02 every hour. And the latest from Force 13's own satellite analysis, which is a new feature that we've got, by the way, shows that the storm has winds of 157 miles per hour, which is just about a Category 5 storm. It was higher than that earlier today as well. John?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been tracking storm as of late because I've been very busy at school. I just got around to looking at it today, and it does have that structure. I mean, I was looking at the satellite imagery, and I did see mid 80 degrees Celsius cloud tops. These are negative, by the way. I mean, yeah, it does have the cloud structure of a pretty strong system. I have no idea what the pressure is estimated on this thing yet. So like 930 something.
Yeah, I'd go a little bit lower than that. The
920.
Yeah, maybe the obviously, when you have the Navy and their ATCF system, they have, by default, they put 160 miles an hour as 918, and 155 would be 922. But that is very, guesstimative. So
that's guesstimating at that point.
I'd say around 920.
Sam, come on, mate, please. I've got to focus.
David's got to focus. He's on. Live show.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've got young Bobby here in the background. Apology for that.
Fantastic. Well, hey, I don't know if you guys would have anything you'd like to screen share with regards to the storm. Obviously, because of the new software, I don't really have the ability to do that right now, but go ahead if you guys have anything you want to show everyone watching at home. Obviously, first of all, I think it would be most important if someone could possibly bring up the track for the storm. I know that it's expected to do the turn towards the northwest, avoiding Madagascar, doing a U-turn and then moving back towards the southeast, and could become a problem for Mauritius or Réunion or the Mauritian island of Rodrigues. As for intensity, well, the models have never really known what to do with it, to be honest. So they've been going for the storm to reach Cat 5 tomorrow, to reach Cat 5 in 5 days on its way back south after turning towards the northwest, or for it not to reach Category 5 status at all. So the models are really quite all over the place as well when it comes to intensity. It's never been a Category 5 storm officially, let me get that one out, but I do believe from the satellite pictures that the storm has been a Category 5 on at least 2 occasions for a sustained amount of time. Here's the JTWC track map courtesy of David. You can see it will get a little bit close for comfort to the northern tip of Madagascar before turning, and should the storm go a little bit further west than what it says on the track there, the cone of uncertainty certainly allows for it, then the storm may end up stalling very near the northern tip of Madagascar and could cause lots of problems there, because it's going to be a remarkably wet system. If it's going to stall in that area, wherever it stalls and turns, that will be the area that will get hit by the most amount of rainfall, and it could be an apocalyptic amount of rainfall. But after that, expected to move towards the southeast and then head towards Mauritius. Now you can see the JTWC on the right hand side of the image there, showing the intensity. Now if that's all gobbledygook to you, then I'll talk you through it. Currently 155 miles per hour according to them. We say 157 right now, that's by the by. And then the storm is expected to move towards the northwest, weakening to 130 miles an hour, still Category 4. And then I think it's towards the after its turn to intensify a wee bit more to 140, then weaken slightly, then intensify slightly. You don't often see that on a 5-day forecast, to see 3 peaks in one forecast, but there we are. So certainly the storm isn't done when it's making that turn, and by 5 days from now the storm will very much, we'd expect, be with us and could still be a huge threat. Guys?
Nathan, what I find with the latest the latest track, you can notice the cone of uncertainty, and when I looked at the chart yesterday, I think the cone was a little bit smaller, but you can note the islands to the south. But looking at that, it's still generating a lot of uncertainty. But what I do have, Nathan, you mentioned earlier the various model tracks. I've prior to coming on air, I open up the tracks. So that's one track. That's from I think it's the UK NCEP GFS.
Yeah, that's the GFS model.
Right. Man, still setting up my things over here. You
So
probably saw
that's
camera.
Oh, there's John. You saw him briefly there in the bottom, waving to the camera. My camera's pitched up on the window, as you've been seeing the last hour or two.
Now this is the CMC, completely different to.
I've not seen that one yet.
Ooh, that predicts a double landfall, it looks like.
Potentially. And that would be awful news for Madagascar if that was to happen, because make no bones about it, despite the track being a little bit different, it would still be strong in that area. I don't suppose if we might want to go through our usual, switch through our usual stuff, take a look at the sea surface temperatures and the wind shear at all, David.
Alright, I'm going to pull up the wind. I think I have the wind shear pulled up on my computer.
Well, that would help David out a lot, because I don't think he has it.
And there's another model.
Okay.
That's a UK Met.
Yeah, we're almost at a consensus that the storm will go towards the northwest, do that U-turn, and pretty much follow itself exactly the way it came. Oh, this is John. So there's John showing us. Now you can see low wind shear all the way to the northern tip and beyond of Madagascar. So I've got to say, Fantala, if it had a mind, it had quite a good one, because it knows where to go. If it's going to go northwest, that's where the low wind shear amount is, and decreasing.
Yes, pretty true.
And then you
currently pulling up my second computer right now.
If you look further towards the south over Mauritius and Reunion, at the moment wind shear is very high, so that would hopefully for them be some sort of barrier to avoid the worst of the storm should it do the worst case scenario and track directly over one of those islands, which is a possibility, but at this stage by no means a probability, and probably won't happen until next week.
Yep.
Or next
I'm
weekend.
also probably, give me a minute, I'm gonna probably pull up my off screen share and pull up the sea surface
there's
temperatures.
those. Okay. That's outside, by the way. Everything's gone pitch dark now. That happened quickly, didn't it? Back to John, who's over there. Oh, John, we've lost your audio. He's talking to a brick wall.
Oh, okay, sorry.
John the mime.
I forgot I was muted. All right, I'm gonna pull up the screen share of the sea surface temperatures right now. Field contour. Here we are over here. I'm thinking.
Yep.
And I think Fantala is right about here, which is in the 30s, I think.
Yeah, it's just on, I'd say it's just slightly south of that borderline, and again, tracking northwest is a very shrewd thing to do if you were a storm, because that's where the warmer waters are.
I think those are about 30, 32 even?
32.
Right. 32, so it's probably around 31 degrees right now.
Certainly
area
warm
where it
enough
is.
anyway.
Plenty warm. I'd say
Plenty warm.
these are perfect conditions for any sort of intensification at all. Perfect conditions.
Yeah, that makes you think then in that case, has the storm been underachieving slightly in how it's not a significant Category 5 storm and only a borderline one at this point?
I mean, there must be an error factor in play in order for that to be a thing. There must be an error factor in play.
I don't know what
the...
what does the water vapor imagery look like. That's usually one of the other killers, dry air intrusion, which could possibly explain it.
Let me see if I can pull up anything on that. I mean, I got RAM imagery of the cyclone, but that's not going to help.
Yes,
so
there it was earlier.
Ooh.
Oh yes, that's one there. Have a look at that. I think it is.
Oh, it looks like it might be fighting some dry air, but I think it's creating its own pocket of moisture, it looks like, on the satellite, so I don't think dry air is a big issue right now.
It's becoming less of an issue by the looks of it. It's certainly more likely to become a Category 5 anytime soon. Certainly before it stalls, because if it stalls, then the upwelling problem happens and the storm will lose momentum and start to weaken.
I mean, I think if it stalls, the upwelling will start for a good 12 to 18 hours, if anything, because the sea surface temperatures are quite warm, so if anything, the upwelling's not going to start for a good 12 or 18 hours.
It's expected to be there for 12 to 18 hours, as far as I know.
So if that's the case, you might see a slight weakening, but if it just sits there for days on end, it's gonna be basically shooting itself in the head if it sits there for days.
I have to say though, if this storm is indeed a Category 5, a Category 5 storm has never been recorded in this location.
Yeah.
There's been two Category 4s that have been recorded here, but not a Cat 5, and officially it still isn't a Cat 5, but we think it has been, and is right on the borderline right now.
I think Eunice was close to this area, but I could be wrong.
I think it was significantly further away to the southeast.
Yeah.
Bansi was a bit off to the south as far as I recall. Certainly in its exact location, no. And there aren't really many analogue storms to choose from either. Only one that had a slightly strange track in 1989, Cyclone Alibira, which was a Category 4. But the track is a little bit different to this one.
So this is something we haven't really seen before, you're saying?
It's an erratic track. Of course, no two storms are exactly the same, but this one you could call anomalous.
Yes, very true. I'm just going to adjust my resolution here.
Anything for us over there? Did you finish showing us the model runs there?
Yes, I did.
So,
I'll bring it.
Yes.
I'll have a look at a couple of others and I'll let you know.
So what would we say to people living in these places right now? The northern coast of Madagascar certainly would have to be very vigilant at this point. Notably as well, the storm passed not too far away from Agalega in the last 24 hours. I don't think its effects would have been too bad there. It was at the very edge of the storm. So I don't think it would have been too bad over there. And I think their brush with the storm is over. The northern coast of Madagascar, especially the eastern side, but the western side, don't get caught out either, just in case the CMC is right. The next 24 to 48 hours, you may start to see some inclement conditions creeping over, and by 72 hours, if it dives towards the south, then it could be something rather severe. Though, of course, we will be keeping you regularly updated on what may happen as time progresses, so this update will certainly not be the last, and in fact we will be starting 6-hourly updates on the storm starting with this evening. So we're going to be doing another a recorded update courtesy of myself at 3 o'clock UTC tonight, 6 hours from now. Well, 2 o'clock UTC it would make it, on the storm, so you'll be up to date. Of course, you can also comment on our Facebook and Twitter feed. We've got it all set up. Search Force 13 or Force 13 International as well on Facebook. And we've also launched our new, or relaunched, the Force 13 forum as well. Another outlet in which you can have your say on what's going on around the world. You can talk about this storm, you can talk about anything on there. Have a look, force13.com, the website, and just add a /forum on the end of that.
Yeah, I'm just currently trying to adjust my second monitor so I can see things a bit better. So that's what I'm playing with right now in the background. So.
Fantala, just reading the latest advisory from the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre. The satellite imagery shows a medium-sized cyclone with a sharply outlined 12 nautical mile eye in a very deep central dense overcast. The EIR loop also shows the system has become more symmetric.
Yeah.
And of significance is the wave height is currently 40 feet.
I don't know what everyone else thinks watching about whether this storm was a Category 5 in the past. I certainly think it was, looking at the old satellite imagery. I don't know whether I could get one up for you actually to show what it did look like at an earlier point. I'll get back to that in a moment.
Okay, I'm still playing around with resolution.
At the start of the month, we were talking about, well, and still is a big focus on how El Nino and how it's dying, and La Nina and how it's coming.
Right.
And
That's good enough.
I think this year draws quite a lot of similarities so far with 1983, which was the record quietest start to a year, but no less than 6 storms formed in April of that year in the southern hemisphere. Usually not such an active time where it's winding down, but it appears that in a transitioning year from El Nino to La Nina, April is quite active in the southern hemisphere because it happened in the 3 strongest El Nino La Nina transitions. After the strongest El Ninos, 1973, 6 storms, 1983, 6 storms, and 1998, 7 storms. And not only that, but West Pacific watchers right now, you may be intrigued to know that in those years, 1973, the first storm didn't form until July in the West Pacific, 1983, not until June, and 1998, not until July, the latest start on record. And 2016 may well follow in its footsteps, and after that it would take until the 4th storm in each of those 3 years for the first Category 3 in the West Pacific. So looks like it's going to be another quiet start, and certainly has no activity in 4 months already. So it appears the West Pacific will start late, as climatology would suggest. Anyway, that aside complete. Back to Chapala. Where'd that come from?
Ah ha ha! Reference.
Fantala. North Indian to South. Hey.
Are you sure you got your geography right?
Chapala was in the Northern
storm?
Indian.
Yeah. Are you sure your storm is rotating clockwise or counterclockwise?
Well, this one is certainly a Southern Hemisphere storm, I can tell you that.
That one's true. That is very true. It's like David took the screen share back or something like that.
Ah, here we are.
Oh,
David, talk us through this.
Now, this is one model from tropical tidbits.com, and you can see, I'll just see if I can.
If anyone has any questions, incidentally, on the YouTube page, please send them in. We'd love to answer them.
So it would be right to say again, it's going to become quasi-stationary until another steering mechanism or steering ridge kicks in.
Mm-hmm. I think we've lost David over there. What's happened? Oh.
The black...
Apologies there, David. We lost
like
you temporarily. You're back now. Just repeat that last sentence.
The Joint Typhoon Warning Centre has it becoming quasi-stationary until such time that another steering which kicks in. Then it's going to adopt that, possibly that southeasterly track.
Yeah.
And it's going 996, 997. And then it's going to change.
Well, I think it'll certainly be stronger than that, David. That's a weak tropical storm.
Possibly adopt a west-northwest track.
West-northwest?
Okay, that works. That looks a lot better.
That's sort of the way it's going right now.
I'm gonna have to tilt the screen. Give me a minute. I'm gonna have to do something. Hear me rambling in the background. Ignore me.
Yes, indeed.
So.
Issues.
He certainly is rambling in the background. So, officially, Fantala is a Category 4 storm with winds of 155 miles an hour. Force 13's latest satellite estimate has it at 157, earlier peaking in the 160s. So we believe, certainly it was a Category 5 earlier today. Oh, now David, what's this?
That's the CMC model.
Right. So the CMC has it hooking off to the west. Not many storms do that. Though one did. I can't remember its name now. I think it was back in the 80s or something. And then slingshot back towards the southeast over Madagascar. And that would be probably a worst case scenario for Madagascar. Though it may well be good news for Mauritius and Réunion, because the storm may well have worn itself out by the time it's done that crossing and veered off further to the west, and maybe rather weak by then.
Dummies.
Pick the right one.
David?
Eek.
That looks like we're struggling with David's signal over there. I believe Daniel has joined us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Daniel. You're live.
Pardon?
You're live. I was saying. David was. Oh, something's going on with David's connection, I'm afraid. So, David, if you can hear me right now, there's something pretty serious going on over there. You might want to restart. But Daniel, have you been tracking Cyclone Fantala?
I'm afraid not, apart from reading a few regular updates in the chat room.
There certainly have been. A strong storm.
Yeah, it's heading towards Madagascar, isn't it?
It certainly
right now.
is fantastic. It certainly is fantastic.
It's sort of veering in the general direction of Madagascar, but it is still likely at this point that it will miss Madagascar. And if it does do that, then it shouldn't be too bad over there.
If you're having wire issues, if you're watching, I'm having wire issues right now.
Oh dear. We may as well just watch John be a walking blooper reel for the whole show. Oh, he's flashing red lights on his face then. What happened there?
Oh dear.
Oh, are we back here, David?
Yes, the old software Skype crashed on me,
My
but
goodness.
I'm listening
Happens
to
to me as well.
the live stream on the YouTube channel. So, recapping, that is the latest track from the CMC. And we were discussing a possible...
It's quite funny as well
It's
to see all those outliers. One of them taking it to a landfall in central Mozambique. Remarkable.
Yeah, the old CMC, but Nathan, what I was saying, and for the viewers, what's going to happen when it becomes near stationary? It's going to intensify further.
Well, it probably won't intensify, but it may well maintain what intensity it has. I'm just going to quickly do something here. You're just looking towards the background there right now, viewers. That is what it looks like at Force 13 HQ right now, which you can't see very much at all because it's really dark. I'm just loading
I
up
can't
some...
see anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Oh, only live audience is.
Oh, you mean... I see. I'm just sending some links along so that David can screen share them. Some interesting images, and I'll talk through them when he shows them.
Okay.
So let's just return. Oh, now, do you want to talk... Oh, what's going on there? Ah, yes, there's one. Now, this is the HWRF model. And if you're able to zoom in on that at all, it shows how the storm is already a borderline Category 5. In fact, I think they're initializing it as a Cat 5. Or 135 knots at least. Very close. It really doesn't matter either way. It's virtually a Category 5. Interesting to note that this model run takes the storm way towards the northwest, turns around, pretty much follows exactly the same way it came in for a time, and then sort of parallels the coast of Madagascar. Interesting to note that around the left hand side of that map there, you'll see the green outline, which is tropical storm force winds just about reaching the northern tip of Madagascar. So that is the likely scenario, but it is by no means the best or worst case scenario. And the blue is tropical depression, 30 miles an hour plus, I think, something like that. And then for the storm to reach a secondary peak as a Category 4 as it's moving towards the south-southeast, and then it'll probably start to weaken rather quickly as it goes beyond 15 degrees south if that wind shear situation remains the same. Now, David, if you wanted to go on to that next image, which shows the rainfall amounts expected from the storm as well. I'm not sure how accurate it is because I've never measured it, but if you take a look at this, you can see that it's off the scale with the amount of rainfall expected from the storm. 32 inches, I believe that is, expected in a large area near where the storm is going to make that U-turn, and the track that it follows in and out. Madagascar itself doesn't look too bad. Some isolated areas around 4 inches maybe. So that isn't such a bad scenario there predicted by the HWRF, which is usually a doomsayer's prediction. But the CMC takes that mantle this evening. We don't have similar maps for the CMC as far as I'm aware. But the CMC, I would expect, predicts a significant landfall on the western coast of Madagascar, probably Category 3, and will have a significant amount of rainfall. That is unlikely at this point, and is certainly not what the model consensus is. The model consensus is for something like what you're seeing here. The time is 8:29 PM UTC. That makes it midnight in Mauritius right now, and in Réunion too. So good morning if you're joining us from there, early morning, and we'll have updates every 6 hours, starting with this hour-long live event. We're finishing in half an hour. Any questions for us? Send them in. Daniel.
Has Mauritius been hit by the storm then?
No.
Oh.
It's still not a certainty by any means that Mauritius will be hit by the storm.
Oh. Right.
It's just a possibility, and we don't know how strong it may be if it was to hit. So it's very much a wait and see if you're living in Mauritius right now, because it is still more than 5 days away from its closest approach to Mauritius and Réunion. So a lot of time to prepare, I would say, at this point. Still, I'm just conducting my latest analysis on how strong Fantala is right now, and the image on the bottom right hand side of your screen will reload in around a minute or two to show you the latest on the storm. Guys, is there anything else you want to give a mention to weather-wise around the world?
Not really.
Go on, John.
That was
John.
Daniel.
It's Daniel.
Daniel,
Well,
sorry,
we
mate.
had a strange spell of sleet or whatever it is today in the Manchester area.
Oh yes, the UK.
In
Very
the
cold
UK.
today, this morning. And it's getting cold tonight as well. It's the end of April, and, well, the middle of April. And we're still seeing sleet, and the temperature at HQ right now just 3 degrees Celsius, 38 Fahrenheit right now. David, what did you want to talk about?
Down here in the southern hemisphere, we have two areas of interest. I'm just going to bring up the screen share again. Now, this is the latest tropical cyclone formation product.
Oh yes.
And you can see 3 areas of interest. Jason has posted earlier that area to the south of Indonesia, so we could see a invest area pop up on the radar this week.
Just to say right now,
time.
the latest satellite estimates have the storm up from 157 to 158. Though I have to say, I'll let David talk about that Fiji system first, actually.
Yes, I have a 90p. Before the end of the show, Nathan, I'll bring up the latest on 90p, but you can note the little area to the north of, I think, Bougainville. Would that be the Westpac?
Oh, I didn't see that one. It's right on the equator, that.
I'll see if I can zoom in.
I really
There we are.
can't see anything coming from that. It is right on 0. But it is on the northern side.
I like this site. They update every 24 hours. I'm looking at I think it's the 48 hour. Yeah, the 48 hour.
I can't see anything coming from that. But that Fiji system,
Right.
tropical storm conditions possible there, and if anything, it's going to be a rainfall event, isn't it? And that's exactly what Fiji won't want right now.
I'll bring
Hello,
it up there,
guys.
Nathan.
Hi, John.
I'm currently under my desk trying to fix all my wires.
Yes, well, you are
'Cause it's
still
a
alive.
mess. I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
You did sort of, blast David out the way whilst you were coming in.
The Nathan, Tropical Depression 17F, central pressure 1000, locating near 16.0 south, 178.1 east. It's moving southeast at 8 knots. Position remains poor. convection remains persistent. System lies south and upper level ridge in a low shear environment. Sea surface temperature around 29, which is still good for a cyclone to form. Global models have picked up the system and moved it southeastward with slight intensification. It looks like it's been upgraded to moderate for further development. And the Fiji Met Office did, I think it's around Wednesday local time, issue a media release on that system. And
I see. So there's Fiji. I just want to point out.
I'll be back
we've
in
got
like.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, a
Sorry.
heavy rain warning over there as well in Fiji. No surprise. Let me just tell you what my analysis is of the storm Fantala right now, just blowing up this image here on the right hand side. So the latest analysis, 158 miles an hour, but I have to say I don't think it'll be very long lived if it keeps going the same way, because the southwestern portion of the eye wall is weakening, even though the rest of it sort of makes up for that right now, but it is only hanging by a thread to the most intense part of the storm. The southwestern part of the eye wall is becoming a weak point, and that could be exploited by any shear or dry air that's in the area, and the storm could collapse in on itself for a second or third time. I don't know where we're up to with it, but it appears that the storm
stays together.
Yes, John, you are still on there, and the storm may well weaken very soon, looking at it, or it might just blow back up again and become a Category 5 for good.
Alright, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I think I'm almost done here.
Okay. David?
2 minutes.
Okay.
so this is from The Sims. This is the latest. You can see the sea surface temperature to the north, and that's what is it, 31
Yeah,
31 degrees.
In that maroon colour there.
Yep, and you can see the system's very healthy. Sea surface temperature's not an issue. You can see it right down along the coast. Well, 29. So sea surface temperature's not an issue. And then you've got your GFS, CMC, UK Met. UK Met's in the green. CMC's in the blue. And the GFS is in the red.
Yeah. You can't really see that red one very much, can you? Because mixing in with the sea surface temperature chart there. Ah, there it is. So actually,
you see that outliner, the CMC.
Oh yes,
has it tracking south, then east.
Well, I think
south.
The CMC, looking at that, appears to be insinuating that the storm will die over Madagascar if that was the case. So it appears that it's either going to be one or the other here. The storm will hit Madagascar and be a problem to only Madagascar, or the storm will head towards Mauritius and Réunion and be a problem to those islands, or hopefully it will miss all of them, which is still rather possible. There is no guarantee that this storm is going to be terrible for anyone, and hopefully that will remain the case, but we do have to be very vigilant of this. There could be significant amounts of rainfall in northern Madagascar if the storm draws only the slightest bit closer to it than what is being predicted.
And look at the wind shear.
The wind shear really high to the south, but where it is right now and where it's expected to stall, below 10 knots, easy for the storm Anything below 20 is pretty decent. But you certainly want the perfect conditions for a storm is 0, of course, and less than 5 further north there near the equator.
I am returned. I've returned now. I've fixed everything I needed to fix.
Excellent.
Look at that.
So, just go straight. One more thing out and I'm good. There we go. Perfect!
Is there anything else that you guys would like to mention at this point? Doesn't have to be
Yeah,
related to Fantala.
Well, it's got to be fantastic anyway. Fantastic!
Because
Bad puns are my game.
oh yes, yes. We don't have any questions at this point, so we don't need to answer them. Fantastic. But if you do have a question for us, do send us a message, and we'll get on to answering it. We'll be here.
Okay. One more wire and that's it. Where's my hat? Oh, God,
Whilst
sorry.
I'm here, let me speculating a little bit as to what we might see elsewhere. So April is turning out to be a rather interesting month, which is sort of what was going to be expected. We could still see another big storm before the end of the month, though it's not entirely likely. As we enter May, I think May will be quite a quiet month. There is the possibility of seeing a storm maybe in the Northern Hemisphere in May, but it is somewhat unlikely, certainly not expected. And then we enter June, we will probably see some activity somewhere by the time we get into June, and throughout June in the Northern Hemisphere. Then July, August kicks in. We may see some significant storms in July and August, particularly in the Atlantic, I would say. We may see... I'm not saying that it's a certainty that this will happen by any means, but I think people should be prepared for the possibility of... another Hurricane Emily at that time of year, this year.
Very true. Emily about 5.
Yes. And then in August, September, we could see some significant storms in the Atlantic. Similar to 2010 and 1998, I think personally it would be a cross between the 2 years. And both years had 4 storms active at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah, that's very true.
That would be a sight to behold again in 2016. Pacific, likely to be quiet, but that doesn't mean that there can't be a big storm out of that. 2010 was a quiet season, had Typhoon Meggy.
Yes.
Did it have any real East Pacific storms? It did have one Cat 5. I think it was Celia, wasn't it, in 2010 that was a Category 5 out to sea. As most East Pacific storms are out to sea, remember. Not every storm is a Patricia. It's true. Not every storm is a Patricia, and not every storm is a Fantala either. As I said, it's quite an anomalous storm in terms of its track at the moment. John, would you like to tell us about what the weather's like in America? Martinez says there's snow in the Rockies, and soon to be a flood threat is forecast, I'm assuming, there as well.
Yeah, it's just... let's put it this way. April is the month where anything can happen. In fact, first week of April, we had almost a half-foot snow up here.
Yeah.
So...
And I believe there's tornado action yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, very true. And there's actually tornado action today. I think Craig and I were discussing this earlier, that we're seeing some cells out in Oklahoma that were actually it's quite tornadic. Sorry, North Texas Panhandle. I'm sorry, Texas Panhandle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly Winterton, he got himself into 3, possibly 4 tornadoes yesterday.
Oh dear. That's quite believable. I mean, yeah, we're still looking at craziness, and yeah.
Just 2 stats based off research I've done about hurricanes in the Atlantic this year for Atlantic weather watchers. A 75% chance that a Category 3 hurricane or stronger will hit Mexico this year. I think it was. Or was it the United States? The United States. 75% chance of a Category 3 storm hitting the United States this year. A 90% or higher chance of a Category 3 storm hitting either the United States or Mexico this year. So almost a certainty that a Category 3 storm 1 will form and 2 will hit either Mexico or the United States at Category 3 intensity, meaning it may well be stronger before that. Or greater, yes.
All these chemistry stuff. I need to move my things around.
And those percentages are based off past climatology and what we have in play this year.
Very true.
Never a certainty, but likely.
Okay. I have cleaned up my mess here at my desk and figured out everything. All my wires are untangled, so that's good.
John, what do you think of what David's showing right now? Oh, sorry, David. Just
yeah,
go
that
back to
track.
that. The depression over Fiji.
I mean, it is looking quite organized, but those last few frames, it's hard to see. I mean, I'm not really a fan of shortwave because it's hard for me to see shortwave imagery. I mean, if I saw regular IR, it'd be different. Regular like IR, like number 4, none, no enhancements. No enhancements.
You just gone past it, David.
IR.
I don't care if it's long. I don't care if it's lat long or on. I don't care if it's latitude's on or off. I don't
Go
care.
down 4, David.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There we go. That's.
Sorry. What?
It'd be none.
Above AVN, David.
There we go. That's better. Ooh, yeah. I think I might want to try. Yeah, I think Nathan's right with the AVN. I mean, I could like.
Oh, sorry, guys.
It's okay. He's right. I'm wrong. That's always the case.
All I said was above AVN.
I think AVN's.
I was just pointing David to where the none was that you were looking for.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my, look at that.
Could you turn on the check the IR temp box? Check the one next to it. Perfect. Just scroll down the page a little bit.
Must be
there
rather cold cloud tops there. So,
ooh,
well,
definitely
80.
in the 80s. Definitely in the 80s.
Maybe. I'm gonna see if I can find out for myself actually what.
Hello.
Yes, welcome back, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm sorry I've not been that active. I've not really got that much to talk about.
Oh, of course. Oh, actually, those cloud tops are really strong. Okay, the latest image shows that the cloud tops are around -91.
My mouse isn't working.
John's got problems left, right, and centre now, hasn't he?
I'm trying to run two computers here. It's not easy.
Well, don't have 2 computers.
Well, I gotta put something. I gotta use everything I can. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Okay, well, so the storm, we're talking about Fantala then, coming into the last 10 minutes of this update. Currently wind speeds officially 155 miles an hour. Force 13's latest analysis from nearly half an hour ago has 158 miles per hour. You can see it here. Let's blow it up again. There it is. And that's what the storm looks like in that latest frame. Doesn't look like a bona fide Category 5, I have to say, and I think weakening may be expected if that southwestern part of the eye wall, which is looking rather frail, does not consolidate in the next frame. We'll just have enough time to look at that frame before we finish the show, about 5-2. So we'll be able to see that when we finish up, and of course we'll have more updates on the storm every 6 hours or better. Daniel, is there anything you'd like to talk about in terms of the UK weather scene?
I'm afraid not that I know of, apart from the
shouldn't have played with it.
What kind of weather are you hoping for this summer?
Nice weather.
Nice.
Not very. It's
great getting a conversation out of Daniel, isn't it? What kind of weather would you like? Nice weather.
Relatively warm and not wet.
Right, warm and not wet.
Not too hot though.
Not too hot.
No.
You don't want a hot
order this, Daniel.
A shipping order.
You want the world and a cherry on top.
Oh, the
Holy-
stream says 158 in terms of estimates on the stream.
Yes, that is
By
the
the way.
latest estimate. 158.
Instead of a cherry, you could have sprinkles.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus. Jeez! Thank you for that!
Yes, the part of the show where we have a bit of fun.
Cheers.
Okay, well,
Pepsi's good.
Oh yes, absolutely. I'll go towards last 10 minutes. Let's bring Marcel to the conversation because he wants to be here. Let's see what he's got to say about the current situation.
Hello.
Hello, Marcel.
Hello.
Good evening.
What
What do you think about Cyclone Fantala, borderline Category 5?
It's a very dangerous storm. It could go to Madagascar. It could go to Madagascar.
It's a possibility. We don't know for sure where exactly it's going to end up.
Yes. We
Well,
don't know.
What do you think is likely to
Stop
happen?
it, computer. Stop it, computer.
I think that if that cyclone makes landfall in Madagascar,
Really? So you're
It's
going with the
effect-
CMC model then? The CMC predicted a landfall in Madagascar.
if that storm, but Nathan, do you know? I don't think that the cyclone will make landfall as a category 5.
Oh, of course. Not that it
Right.
would be the first one to do so in Madagascar if it was to make landfall as a Category 5. Who's got this right now? Who is this? David.
Yes, it is.
So you can see the green line there. It's UK Met, I assume. Says that the storm will track a bit more north and it will take less time before it does its U-turn, and will just go towards the southeast. I think they're all agreed in which sort of direction it will end up going, but it's just where and when, isn't it, that it will make that turn. And then you can see the CMC there, an outlier compared to those other two. I assume the red one was was it the GFS, the red one?
GFS?
Yeah, so that's what
Yep, GFS, sorry.
that's sort of what the JTWC is in line with right now. And there's the CMC taking the storm way off to the west between Madagascar and the Comoros Islands, and then off towards the southeast, and then hugging the eastern coastline where it will probably end up dissipating. And very interesting to see what might come of this. Of
I'm
course,
just having problems after problem.
Yeah, John, you're the whole show has been a problem for you by the sounds of things.
And Nathan, that is where 90p is.
90p. Are you sure?
And 90p. 90p, I think, is up in that top left-hand corner.
Has the one over Fiji been designated then?
Fiji.
Well, Fiji's off to
Yeah,
the right
that's
of
it.
that image.
Yeah.
You're looking on the
But
left there.
Yeah, so just the sea surface temperature, you can see where the pocket is 31 down to 30,
That's at the Solomon Islands,
then
yes.
29. So sea surface temperature. And now,
Two
feast
screens-
your eyes on that one.
There's
two screens is
Australia.
different.
David's native Australia.
Yes.
Oh, Australia land.
What's
Australia, that is the total rainfall across the next 8 days.
what's the interesting
the,
talking point from this image?
My little area there on the New South Wales Queensland border to Fraser Island. If that was to track west, that would give us up to 100 millimetres of rain. But look at the top, the northern Coral Sea area in dark green to dark blue, which is what, 200 millimetres. Then Jason over there in WA, he could get rainfall of at least 10 millimetres.
Okay.
He needs it, doesn't he? Is he still in?
Oh, he needs it badly. So, and that is the latest Typhoon Warning Centre on Fantala.
Any observations on the storm that you've made recently? How it looks? What's going on with it?
I'm gonna.
I'm very much looking at the internal structure on the infrared imagery, but what do you think?
It's a tightening up. It's got that 12 nautical mile eye.
Yeah, the latest update has just come out, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what the next update says on your screen near the bottom right in a moment or two. John.
Yeah, I'm currently actually have my second computer actually working right now, which is amazing. My second computer is working right now, so took the whole show.
Oh, you were supposed to do it during the show.
No, I was supposed to have this all set up by the show, but something happened and everything just went to hell.
Yikes.
Oh well. Okay, stuff happens.
Yeah.
They have to say, do it live. It happens. I mean,
hey, nothing went wrong at this end at any point during the show. I have you now.
Yeah, I know. You guys covered everything greatly. Me, not so much.
Oh dear. Well, I'm just putting up the latest image now, which is coming out. Here it is. Still at 158 miles an hour, but you can see that the eye wall has looked good again. The southwestern side of the eye wall there that was looking weak in the last image is looking much better now, and is much stronger than it was in the last frame. So that's really good progress on behalf of the storm, and that looks like a Category 5 once more. Though the eye, and it has been a prominent feature for some time, the eye itself looking just a little bit fragile, a little bit shallow compared to what you'd expect to see in a Category 5. But the cloud tops around the storm's eye wall have been more than enough to offset that, because they've been very strong in the last 2 days nearly. Now, so looking very good in terms of Fantala. Could it become a Category 5 officially very soon? Who knows? Only the JTWC will tell you. John, was that? Did you want to say something?
I get things working here.
Ah.
I added my clone to the chat, but it's just not working.
Yeah, well,
This is great.
I'm afraid, John, you've run out of time, because that's the end of the show.
Oh dear.
Oh well. At least my input at times was
all over
It
I don't know what it
happens,
was.
John. Don't worry, I crashed.
Yeah, even David crashes him. If anyone wants to know,
But Nathan,
go on.
well
I can
done.
laugh it off.
The update worked beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yes, new software. Always the potential for things to go wrong, but it didn't here.
Da da da.
Oh well. At least I was this show's comic relief.
Yeah, John is comic relief personified. Now,
Oh my god.
we're finishing the show. We'll be back. I'll be back with another update, recorded update at 3 a.m. UTC. Or, in fact, I think it was slightly... no, I think it will end up being about 3 a.m. UTC. It'll appear on the YouTube channel. That's 6 hours from now. In the meantime, you can contact Force 13 through any of our mediums. Facebook, Twitter, search Force 13, all in text. And you can also find me on Skype. My name's Fool13, FOOL13, and you can also find us on the forum. Search force13.com/forum for the new service. John, I did see you. I haven't left you out. What do you want to say?
Yeah, on Force 13 Extra, we'll be rolling continuing coverage starting at 5:15 local time here, i.e. 15 minutes from now. We'll be starting rolling coverage on Fantala on the Extra channel.
That's
via
news
Google
to me.
Hangouts.
Force 13 Extra in between now and 3 o'clock then. We'll see you again
Yes.
soon. Have a great evening wherever you're watching.
We'll be live.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, I'm gonna get the